Well, hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Welcome to this week's Brand Breakthrough Show. This is your opportunity to go deep in a topic that is pre-chosen before we come on every week. We get lots of questions that come in from our fans throughout the week, and so we pick the one that is going to benefit everybody the most. So this week we're focusing on a topic that isn't necessarily brand related, or business related, but it absolutely affects in a negative way your business and your brand if you don't think about some of the things that I'm going to be sharing tonight. Now, if you've seen our other brand breakthrough shows, you'll know that I go really deep. We cover various different topics, and if you've got any questions that you want answered, then either comment in the comments with the video thread, or drop me a message, drop me a direct message and let me know some of the things that you want to cover. Now, today's question has come in via Peggy Lee Hansen, who posted the question yesterday when I put a post out asking what topics do you want me to cover. But if you don't want me to mention your name, I don't have to. If it's a topic that you'd really love to know the answer to, but you'd like to keep it more personal, a bit more private, hello Peggy Lee, then just drop me a direct message or send me an email to sammy@howtobuildabrand, and I'll make sure that I get it in with the topic content. And we've got a lot of topic content that we've got coming up for you. So it's amazing that we have this time. Isn't it just incredible that we are born at a time where all of this technology has made it completely possible for you and I to have a conversation, even though I'm in one part of the world and you're in another part of the world, and other people get to benefit from it at the same time. So I'm blessed for the ability to have internet, the technology for us to be able to do this. So the biggest things, there's 7 things that are like huge, they're enormous, and in fact that's what I built our Brand Builders Club around, in solving the challenges of these first 7 things. But there's also, another 4 things that I thought of as well on top that are related to your question, Peggy Lee. Based on some of the other like personal challenges, but also the business challenges, when everything is coming at you, you've got all of these hats that you need to wear constantly, and one minute you're the bookkeeper and the accountant and you're a tax advisor to yourself. Then the next you could be doing marketing, you could be doing social media, you could be creating an email campaign to go out, you could be building your funnel, you could be list building, you could be sending something, a text campaign, you might be taking photographs of your own product. Hi Teresa. Taking photos of your products so you can get them out there, making videos, not to mention actual customer service, creation of products, making sure that you're delivering on your promises and that you're nurturing strangers, converting them into friends, because you may have heard us talk about where the real conversion happens. The real conversion happens when you convert a stranger into a friend. And that's when you create the engagement process, is, creating at least 42 different heartbeats that will connect, engage, and convert. Whether that's a stranger into a friend, or a friend into a customer, or a customer into a lifetime customer, there is always a conversion process. And actually that's one of the things that I'm going to talk about as one of the main issues that I see with businesses, and maybe it will help you as well. So you can see that there's just a few of you on the call now. If you could tag some other people in that should be here, I'd really be very grateful for that, because I'm in full flow delivering for you. If you could invite some other people in. Hi Shazir, that would be awesome. So actually, just want to put a shout out to both Peggy Lee Hansen and Shazir Kadka, who are on the call, I can see right now, who are both sponsors of the 2018 Entrepreneurs Brand Builders Club Awards on Saturday just gone. It was just, oh my gosh, it was such a heartwarming, amazing celebration of the great achievements that the Brand Builders Club members have made over this last 12 months. And June, hello. And also for our sponsors as well, such as Shazia and Peggy Lee. We had 14 sponsors in total. And it's just a brilliant recognition that, when you're a sponsor of an award, not only are you achieving amazing things, but you're achieving them to a point that you want to give back. And so you've reached a level where you're still achieving and you're also giving back as well. And we're putting our 2019 sponsors in place now. So if you want to be a sponsor for the awards in 2019, now I know that feels like we've only just had the 2018 awards. Yes, but I totally underestimated the amount of work it takes to create an event for a relatively small group of around 60 people. It's a significant amount of work, and a lot of it was done in the last month to 6 weeks, and so I'm getting planned this year. So we are already booking the venue for 2019. We've manifested that there will be 500 people at the next Brand Builders Club Awards, so a lot of businesses for you to get your own brand in front of, brilliant recognition and a great celebration and achievement. They will be filmed. It will be, it was already like the BAFTAs or something. We had the red carpet and everything this time, but we're going big. We're going big for next year. So I encourage and invite you to talk to me about sponsoring an award. Peggy Lee, it was such an honor and a pleasure to be part of this extraordinary event. It really was an extraordinary event, and I would advise that actually this is one of the small business challenges, is how do you get in front of your ideal customers and continue to serve them in a way that they don't want to go, thanks June, that they don't want to go somewhere else. And the key thing, I think, is to, as we've learned, I started this small. The Brand Builders Club is only really 9 months old. And this was a brilliant celebration. Last year, the Brand Builders Club was completely online. We didn't have a program. There was no content plan. It was ad hoc, and we tested and measured, and we did a load of market research last year. So the Brand Builders Club, as a 12-month program, is only actually 9-10 months old now, in its actual physical manifestation that it is now. And so these awards, it's like test things on a smaller level. We could easily, and somebody said last year, let's go for 1,000 next year. And we had, I think, about 26 last year. And I said no, to go from 26 to 1,000, without any, we didn't really run it. We didn't have a slideshow last year for the awards. We didn't have any banners. We didn't have any of those things last year. This year was completely different. We had, everything. Last year we didn't even have music or AV or anything. This year it's just such a celebration of your progress in moving forward, and so we were definitely celebrating what we've achieved over this period of time, but even more so we were celebrating what we're now able to do for our members and how much more special we can make things. And so the awards were, or are, a brilliant way of not only recognizing the achievements of our members, but getting case studies of our members, social proof. When we did the awards, everybody was sharing out about our brand, so brand recognition and credibility. Our heartbeats were reaching thousands of people, our brand heartbeat reaching thousands of people as a result of really getting out there. So one of the things that I find that small business owners like us do struggle with is the retaining of those customers, because it's so easy when you have customers coming to you that that person is a customer now. You've delivered the service, and then you move on to the next person, and you're so focused on getting that next person into the funnel, or the next 100 people into the funnel, that talking to your existing customers about what they want and need so that you can up level your service to them, even though if it doesn't exist yet, is finding out from your customers what they want so you could create that. And what I found last year was when I started to invite my Brand Builders Club online members to come to an event that I used to run, the Brand Building Bootcamp, when I used to run that, and I saw the celebration of achievements that people were, that they were talking about them online, but when they actually got their fit together physically, there was I can only describe it as an explosion of energy that was multiplied as a result of people being together physically in a room. So what do you do for your customers that gets them physically together? Even if it's on Zoom, it might be you can't get them physically together in one place. But, you know, could you do something that is on Zoom where you know, even once a month, do something where you get them together, but keep it like you know, a proper engagement strategy. Make sure those customers are together as a group, so that you can continue to serve them, continue to add value, and as you're adding value, you're solving problems, and as you solve one problem, you're creating another problem, and as you're solving the problems, you're creating solutions, and those solutions might not be right for all of your customers, but they will be right for some of the customers that you've already served. So there will always be a graduation, and that's a big problem that I see with businesses all the time. And I mean, I'm curing that problem by creating this 1 year program, which actually we've had members, our first members came to the end of their year that they, from September last year, that they bought the very first memberships before we officially launched the program. And they've just signed up again for another year. We've got a 100% retention rate so far. So we must be doing something right. And I would just encourage you to think about some kind of membership or some kind of subscription where your clients either get it free at the end of the service so that you can continue to rent a space in their head, or you continually find out what's the next problem that you can solve, what's the next problem that you can solve. Because if you're not doing that with your existing customers, then you're hemorrhaging a ton of people that trust you, know you, love you, will recommend you all over the place, yet you're not servicing them, and they'll get to a point where they've forgotten about you, so they forget to recommend you, they forget that they like you or they trust you, and so it's not because they do it on purpose, but somebody else starts renting a space in their head, and then they go and they've won the business that could have been yours. So definitely don't want that to be happening, do we? Because that's brandalism, one form of brandalism. So really, you know, that's just one. That's just one of the things. Another one is running out of money. You know, it's very easy to want to invest in. Oh, I want to invest in that, and I want to invest in that, and I want to invest in that. But I haven't got the money, or I've used up all of my savings, and you know, you're kind of not at the beautiful, abundant place that you hope that you would be in by that point, and that can be something that bites you on the bottom. June, it costs more to get a new customer than it does to keep an existing one. Awesome. Jamie, I can see your messages are coming in. They are coming right over the top of the live stream. Hello, Jamie, if you're there. So I will answer them later. So running out of money. We're just talking about running out of money. If you are following the strategy that I've just mentioned, it will cure that problem. So if you, when you get that customer and you treat them, in fact, June is amazing. June, who's on here right now, connect with June. June is creating an amazing resource that has customer service strategies in abundance on this resource. And having worked with June on the Master Your Message Mastermind Retreat, oh gosh, it was sometime this year, I think. It was either in June or September. And June really opened up about her business, and Carol was there as well. Hi, Carol. And you know, it was fabulous to see. You know, June has been a real champion of customer service for many years for many companies, and is now doing this for herself. So June, I look forward to a sprint from you, my darling, on the customer service side of things. What can you be doing to make a bigger impact on your existing customers more often, so that they spend more with you more often? And that's a key thing. Carol, I hope that you're feeling better. Oh, it was in September. Wow. September this year actually feels like it's already a year ago. just this last week. I feel like the awards that we just literally did, 5 days ago, I feel like that was at least 3 months. So much happens, doesn't it? So yeah, just, you will cure the poverty and the hemorrhaging of your business opportunities if you just follow the strategy of constantly servicing your customers in a way that they don't want to go somewhere else, that they continue to spend money with you, and you won't ever find out that you're running out of money. And the other thing, I remember one of my mentors a long time ago, Dan Kennedy, he said to me, Sammy, if I want something, I set my mind on it, and then I just decide how many customers need to spend money with me to buy it. So my customers buy my things. He said, if I decide I want a new car, I think, what can I do? Because he's a content writer, really, content marketer and information marketer at the heart of his business. He says, if I want a new car, I just think, okay, how many customers do I need, and how many letters do I need to write before I can buy that new car? And it really switched. It was like a paradigm shift in my head and in my mind when I thought, whoa, hang on, I'm always thinking I've got to work hard to create the money, to create the things. It might even be that, it's not material stuff that you are focusing on for your business. It might be that you want to buy 100 water filters to take out to the Amazon rainforest and stop tribes dying of poisoning because the rainwater isn't as pure as it was now. It's running down the mountains, it's carrying tons of all kinds of horrible stuff down the mountains now. It's not as pure as it was. Indigenous tribes are getting sick, and they're dying as a result. They're dying out as a result of what's happening in today's world, right? So that might be your thing. So it doesn't have to be that you're always earning money because you want to have your next Ferrari or something. It can be a lot more heart-centered than that. I think too often I hear people say, yeah, but I'm not doing the money, I'm not earning the money just for me. And that's brilliant. I really implore that. I mean, I wear my one drop. I wear my one drop every day to remind me that every little thing that I do that makes one impact, one drop, every drop I make on someone's life, that I've done something positive that impacts on them in a positive way. I know that it's not just money, although money will come as a result of doing that. There will be an impact on their life, which means that it will impact on other people's life. It's like the smiling at somebody, and then them smiling at somebody, and then them smiling at somebody. You just never know where your impact is going to make an impact on someone else, that will make an impact on someone else, and will make an impact on someone else. Which, by the way, we managed to find some very similar pendants and chains to the one that I wear. I'm creating a one-drop movement. So I'm formulating that at the moment, and we are going to be selling jewellery. There's all kinds of things that we're going to be doing so that our impact and the profits from those can go into something else. So just think, when you create that money, you can do other things with it. You can invest in other things that make other impacts. I mean, it's just extraordinary, isn't it? And you don't need much to be able to make an impact or start making an impact. So you're already doing it, right? You're already here. You are already making an impact on each other. I've just seen the little interaction of you saying hi to each other. Just knowing that there is someone else there is enough sometimes. You don't have to be on the phone to everybody or see people all the time. Just knowing that they're there, someone saying, I'm here for you. You know that I'm here when you need me. It's not because we're weak that we ask for help. It's because we're strong that we ask for help. It's a strength. Your strength lies in your vulnerability, as Burge Smith Lyons says. And it's absolutely true. And in fact, in just over the last 3 or 4 days since the awards, it can be really easy to be on a massive high when you're in that bubble of excitement and you're surrounded by people who have got your back entirely. that makes you feel resilient and courageous in a way that when you're just on your own, business on your own is lonely, right? So that resilience isn't as strong when you're on your own as when you've got people around you. So being at the event for 3.5 days in London, out of your life, away from the daily stuff that's going on, and then going back to that can be really stressful. Equally, Carol, I'm sure it was hugely stressful for you. You invested, you bought, you spend money on your place, and then you get ill the week before and you can't come. So you're watching this explosion of everything that you could be enjoying happening in a room that you aren't in. So just, it's not, I think it's so easy for us to think and feel about what's going on for us, but we don't always take that time to step out of ourselves and see what's going on for other people. And just by saying that you're there for someone, just by sending them your love, just letting them know that you care, even, especially in business, can make or break your day. It can really be the difference in doing that. One of the things that I do every morning, and I don't do it often enough, but when I'm feeling like I'm starting to get bitten by the meh bug, I immediately will do my yoga. Doing a yoga routine. Actually, Kim Chifchi, now Vincenti, she gave me a 15-minute yoga routine, which is like a mobility routine. It's not even like hardcore yoga or anything like that. It's more mobility, and so I'll do that, and it's amazing the difference in my mindset from when I start to when I finish. She gave me some music tracks as well. I just play them on Spotify. I have them running. The routine is simple. I do it. It's 15 minutes. I had a few little things on myself, so it makes it to about 20. And as soon as I finish that, I then do Marie Diamond's app. So for those of you that are watching this that weren't at the summit at the weekend, we oh my gosh, Marie Diamond, she spoke on all 3 days, and one of the things that Marie Diamond has is an app. There are 2 versions of the app. There's the free one and then there's the paid for one. The free one has got stuff on it, but the paid for one is the one you want. It's about $5 or something. It's a no-brainer to invest in it. And she has on this app tubes of light meditation. Now there are other things in it as well, so it's got like a dial so you can work out where your success direction is, your love direction, there's all kinds of things that you can do with the app. In fact, it's been brilliant seeing all the people that attended the event. They've been going back and taking pictures of their offices. And so Carol, this will be good for you as well, taking pictures of their offices and then sharing what their office looks like once they've done the Marie Diamond thing. They're all like, I've just Marie Diamond my office. In fact, Peggy Lee Hansen was one of those people. Hi, Greg. And so, yes, we're doing a complete office revamp as a result of that. So watch this space, literally. Anyway, so I do my 15-minute yoga routine, followed by 5 or 6 minutes of Marie Diamond's app. And then I go into my visualization. So within 20 minutes of doing the yoga and Marie's app, I feel completely different. I feel like a completely different person. And I would advise, for those of you that do have Marie's app, that if you want to get ahead of that, is to do it at night before you go to sleep as well. So I don't speak it out loud. I'm sure that if you speak it out loud, then there's some kind of sound vibration frequency that embeds it into your body. And I do that in my morning one, but I don't. In the evening one, I just say it really strong. I say it with my heart instead of my mouth. And it's amazing. It's like I've got to a stage now. I've been doing it for about maybe 1.5 years, 2 years. I've got to the stage now where I can actually feel my body vibrating. It is phenomenal. Excellent, Carol. Excellent. So we actually do have a 5-day sprint that Marie delivered last year, and I think what I'll do is on Monday next week, let's do the 5-day sprint, because even for those of you who have gone back and changed all your office and everything around and done a clear out, There are things that Marie talked about on the sprint that that takes it even deeper, that maybe she goes into a few other things that she didn't mention when we were in the room. So I think it would be a really good idea for you to go through that. So I will post that in the Brand Builders Club group next week, starting Monday, and we'll get that going again for those of you that want to go through that process, or just to double check in and see, oh, have I done everything that is going to make the real difference? Because imagine that, having that clear out, getting rid of that old energy, ready to see in the new energy of 2019. It really is. It's going to be explosive. Peggy Lee, I like that idea. Speak it out in the evening. Before, to make the next day wonderful. Yeah, I mean, you can, if you're on your own, or you know, if you want to go and do it somewhere else, then I mean, you do it in the best way that works for you. I find that when Greg and I go to bed, I don't want to be shouting out, you know, I am the power of the universe. I don't want to be shouting that out while he's trying to go to sleep. So I just say it with my heart. I just say it really strong. And then in the morning, I'm down in the living room and I've got my yoga mat out, and I'll do that. The other thing that makes a difference as well is the journal idea as well. This is something that I started as a result of Tasha Chen's last challenge, which she she did it. It was at our event. I think it was the June and July events in the UK, Holland, online, Atlanta, and somewhere else that we were. And she talked about having a business gratitude journal. We create gratitude journals all the time, but we tend to do them personally, and this is a business one. That's me. Thank you. Lavinia. Hello, Lavinia. So and I find that what happens is, this is really strange. I don't know why it works like this, but for me, it tends to work like this. When I write in my gratitude journal, my business gratitude journal, what I want, it always happens either the next day or the day after. It doesn't happen that day, even though I talk about that day. Thank you. Even though I talk about that day, like it's already happened. So let's take an example. I've just taken one from July. So this was Wednesday, the 11th of July, 2018. It's Wednesday, the 11th of July, and I'm so happy and grateful that so many wonderful people are coming seamlessly into my life and business. I am blessed at the amount of support people want to give me as I expand this global community. I am happy and grateful at how easy it is becoming to reach more lives than ever before. I feel amazing that the quality of people I'm welcoming into the club is getting higher and higher. We really are attracting highly conscious entrepreneurs on a mission to collectively create global change. So I always do that piece, which is more of a kind of a roundup of almost like how I feel having, like that is genuinely what's happening, right? So that's like a genuine thing. And then I go into a thing that we don't necessarily have yet, and imagine that we do have it. So I'm happy and grateful today that everything is falling into place in an easy and relaxed way. Each day I'm adding one new member to the group, and that money is giving us the freedom to grow and expand so that we can really make an even greater difference and impact together. I feel totally satisfied that the training I am crafting is giving our teams what they need to go out there and fill the rooms with the most amazing entrepreneurs, whilst looking after our current members in a way that they've never been supported before, so they feel they want to go out and promote it. You are changing the world, Sammy. Let's do this. Lots of love, Sammy. Right? So I write it to myself. So just, again, that's something else that just, it takes me out of any kind of financial poverty mindset or relationship poverty mindset. You know, it's like, if you, and I mean that not in a way of like poverty, we're clearly not poor, but having, as soon as you start to undervalue or underestimate your own power, as soon as you start to treat yourself lesser than the amazing, conscious human being that is just the most magnificent and powerful and resilient and wealthy and creative and fun and adventurous and genius and in your gift. When you're living in any energy other than that, not only are you hurting yourself, you are hurting the people that are looking for you right now that can't find you because you're in that energy. And while you're in that energy, you tend to play smaller than you have the right to be. And it does something that contracts rather than expands. So that it's almost like, as your physical universe starts to get smaller in confidence or whatever that is for you. Hi, Annemiek. So does your universe externally, and it's not just your right to claim the authority in the leadership of your positioning, but it's also your duty because you have something that someone else in the world needs. And it's not just one other person, it is millions of people who need what you provide. And so it's your duty to show up and shine. And that for me is like whatever you need to do, whether that is going out for a walk, whether it's going to the gym. An interesting thing was said, actually. Let me see if I can find it. I was supporting a couple of our Brand Builders Club members today at an event that they were running in Manchester at the Etihad Stadium. Daniel and Christina, for those of you that were at the summit, you met Daniel and Christina. They were sponsors of the Global Changemaker of the Year Award. Amazing people. They run an event in Manchester every month called Entrepreneurs for Good. All of the money that comes in that they make from people attending goes into Buy One Give One, which is Paul Dunn's amazing creation. That is so flipping fabulous. Gosh, I made so many notes today, but he said something, and it was something about Richard Branson, and I want you to have it. I want to give it to you just as it was given to it. The thing is, like, Roger Hamilton it just went blah, and it just came out of his mouth, and it just meant so much. It just went boom, and I wonder if, we just take it for granted. I bet you do it as well. You say things all the time and you don't realise what an impact that has just made on someone else. Let's just have a look at these. Yes, agreed. Thank you, Annemiek. Lavinia, also very important to include in your gratitude what you are creating, like that post you did perfectly. That aligns and connects you with your purpose. Absolutely. And really good point, Lavinia. And Peggy Lee, the initial thought about my question of self-care and tasks was one of empowerment, but I may have answered my own question by taking massive action of clearing up my workspace. This has made me feel wonderful and content and accomplished. I didn't have to worry about doing anything today. I will write about this in my business gratitude journal. Thank you for that reminder. Awesome. That is really awesome. And the thing is that we do things all the time. and we do answer our own questions most of the time. Now, what did he say? It was something along the lines of, here we go, your business is a mirror of you. So get your business fit. Get fit and your business will be fit. Get your office clear and your business will feel clear. Your business will have clarity. Get excellent with money and your business will be excellent with money. You get the point, right? So when you get clear and when you get grateful, your business gets grateful. When you get focused and when you get active, your business gets active. And it's just such a powerful, energetic force that happens. And so, do whatever you need to do. And the thing is, I'm sharing some of the things that I do because I do them and they work for me. But you have things that you have done in the past that have worked beautifully, that you're maybe just not remembering right now. But if you were to go back in time and think of a time and a place where you were your most productive, you were your most joyful, you were your best in your relationships, you were brilliant with money, that you had money coming to you abundantly, that everything was just in flow. There will be a time in your life that you have had that 100% flow. What are you doing differently now to what you were doing then? That is so different to then nodding head in agreement. Awesome. Because it's just so true, you know. It's like, if you think, I wish I was fitter, or I wish I could lose a few pounds. Well, you already know how to do that. I mean, it's brilliant. We have an abundance of fitness, health and lifestyle experts. If I want to get fit, I'll go to Trina. If I want to focus on my nutrition, I'll go to Isabella. I've got everybody around me that I want to do that. But ultimately, I know of a time when I was absolutely nailing it in business and nailing it in health, nailing it in every other aspect other than my relationship. We're going back quite a few years. And that for me was about that. Now I look at that and I go, well, I had all those things, but I didn't have the relationship. Now I've got a relationship. Can I have all those things? And so it's just looking at how can I borrow some of the things that were working brilliantly then, health-wise, and bring them into today. But I don't want to dwell on the past, because me living in my past me is not going to help the future me. Is this making sense? It's just, it's being yourself, and it's being true to yourself, and also stepping into the future and imagining your future you. Roger said something brilliant today, also to do with Sir Richard Branson, as it happens. And he said, imagine that Richard Branson wakes up in your bed a year from now, right? A year from now, Richard Branson wakes up in your bed. But he's not next to you, he is you. So Richard Branson's mind, his Rolodex of contacts, his everything that he has learned is sucked in, and now Richard Branson is in your body for a whole year. What do you think would be different a year from now as a result of him being in your body instead of you being in your body? What limitations are you putting on yourself? What aspects of yourself are you allowing to show up that are hindering you, that are putting a barricade up from the rockets of desire that you have, taking you from where you are to where you want to be? Richard Branson doesn't have those barriers in your life. He's got his own barriers, I'm sure, but he works through them. And I mean, he wouldn't be where he is today if he hadn't have burst through the barriers that, as small business owners, we tend to take things on, and we tend to believe things to be true based on our history. But what if for a whole year there was no history? What if there was only the good things that you'd learned that you could carry forward to take you into the future? Any of the negative stuff, all the limiting beliefs, anything that is holding you back is gone, because Richard Branson is now in your body, and he doesn't have those same experiences that you've had. He's only bringing those positive experiences to you. Imagine where your life would be in 12 months from now if that happened. So be honest with yourself. Where are the gremlins? Where are the was it Spike, the renegade gremlin with the punk and the earrings and, swinging from the chandeliers, going crazy, causing absolute havoc. Hi, Angie, and chaos. Imagine that that's happening in your head. These gremlins are exactly, Lavinia, speak to yourself as you would your favorite best friend or your favorite client, not your worst enemy. But how often do we treat ourselves and our hearts and our bodies in a way that we would never treat somebody else. So, just think about that, and maybe meditate on that tonight, just before you go to sleep. And just think, if Sir Richard Branson, or pick your favourite person, Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, like pick your favourite idol, the person that inspires you, the person that when you think of them, you think, oh my God, like they are the most amazing human being that I could ever wish to model. To stand on the shoulder of that giant. Who is that person? I mean, post it here now. Share with us. Who is that person that you're going to go to bed with tonight? That you're going to wake up with tomorrow? And imagine that that person is only bringing the positive qualities of themselves and what they have created. And your past shit is gone. Hi, Dave. Your past shit is gone. Only that amazing stuff that super mind has created is now in your head, right? And there are no limiting beliefs. There is no, there is nothing that's holding you back. There is only going forward. And imagine with that kind of energy, what you would be taking into 2019. So Annemiek, brilliant. Brendan Bouchard. So Brendan Bouchard is going to wake up in your bed tomorrow morning, Annemiek, and you're not going to be there. He's going to be there in your body. So your spirit will be there, but his mind is going to be where your mind was. And so you remember all the great things, but you've got no limitations. You've got no hindrance. You've got nothing that's stopping you. Peggy Lee, Harriet Tubman. There you go. So Harriet Tubman is going to wake up in your bed next to Mark tomorrow morning, Peggy Lee. and I assume that it's a lady. She's going to wake up in your body. Like, how inspired, how different would you be? What things would you say no to? If you were her, if you were him, what would you say no to? Because it's going to take you further away as opposed to towards your goals. Let's just have a look up here. Mother Teresa keeps coming up for you, Lavinia. Okay, so brilliant. Now, Mother Teresa, brilliant example. Mother Teresa, she's actually, I think, from when Leisha Berry did a soul blueprint on me. She said, Sammy, you've got the King of Norway to your left. It's like you're saying, or he's saying to you, well, okay, this kingdom is mine. It's mine. It's mine for the taking. Thank you very much. I'm going to have this. Thank you, thank you. But then you've got Mother Teresa on your right that's saying, okay, well, hang on a minute. We can do that and we can achieve the same result, but let's do it with love. Let's do it from the heart. Nobody needs to get hurt. We can do this from a lovely place. And then she said, behind you, you've got Joan of Arc, who is just pushing you forward, and you are unstoppable. So, I mean, these are real things. These are things that I did in a Soul Blueprint. If you haven't had a Soul Blueprint session with Leisha Berry, highly recommend that you have that with her. I mean, phenomenal. In fact, I've got it right here. You won't be able to see it necessarily, but this was my Soul Blueprint from the point that I was an idea in the universe somewhere through to here I am on Earth, and my mission and my purpose, my soul purpose this lifetime. So it was amazing. I need to get that back out. That's been sat underneath my desk to keep my desk tidy. But think about if you look at the people. I mean, do your Soul Blueprint reading with Leisha Berry to find out who these people are. Or just for now, think about who makes you feel strong. Who makes you really, who gives you that resilience? Who, if you were to wake up, if you were to go to bed every night with a council of advisors that are sat on your bed, that as you're sleeping, they're downloading things, almost like Inception. they're planting things in your mind that will enable you to be at your very best genius, magnificent self every single day. And that they're kind of looking in your mind and go, oh no, that's not going to serve you. Right, we'll have that out. Let's replace that with this. Right? Just imagine if you had that. And then you wake up in the morning and those angels, those brilliant minds, they've got your back. And if you could stay in that energy every single day, that would be completely amazing. Peggy Lee, she ran the Underground Railroad for slaves in the US back in the 1800s. Phenomenal. Well, the other thing about just going back to Mother Teresa is it would be easy to look at her and think, well, she had nothing. But she had millions in the bank. She made millions because people were donating. And that there is an exchange, there is always a value exchange. Even if you're giving something to someone and it doesn't come back directly from them, it comes back 10 times from other sources and other parts of the universe. A bill gets paid that you didn't even realize was outstanding, and it comes through your door and it has a balance of 0 on it, and you didn't even realize that you owned it. Hi, Costa. Oh, it's lovely to see you today, Costa. There's all kinds of things that happen that are universal, that make the world of difference. And so for those of you that have joined us, it would be good for you to watch the replay, because I've just covered a ton of stuff and we're like about 5 minutes to the end now. But really, going back to these challenges and how I solve them for me, because that was the question how this started, by the way. For those of you that are joining us, Peggy Lee asked the question yesterday, when you have these challenges coming at you as a small business owner, how do you deal with them? How do you face them head on? So I've just shared a ton of stuff about the way that I personally get through that, how I keep going, and keep being motivated and get, just remain unstoppable. I think is the key thing, is continuing to be unstoppable, especially when you're really on purpose and you're in flow, which is what Roger was talking about today. So one of the other things that I think is a big challenge for small business owners like us is that knowing where to begin is challenging, because we know so much already. It's about taking the genius that you have, all the things that you've learned, like I said a little while ago, taking all of the genius things, all the really amazing stuff that you've learned, and taking that forward without carrying all of the other stuff. It's like, I've learned those lessons. Yeah, you win or you learn. And so I've learned all those lessons, and now I can win on those things. So I learned how to do it the better way, and they're the ways that I'm going to do these things. And then that's the thing, is like, you already know enough. And this is something that I was talking about at the Vision, Voice and Visibility Summit last Saturday, is you already know enough. And so it would be easy to say, oh, I've got to learn this next thing, or I've got to have this next skill, or I've got to get my next qualification. But ultimately, you already know enough. It's about, where do I begin in taking what I already know and doing the most powerful things I can with it, so that I am reaching lives and changing lives. Hi, Amanda. Amanda was an amazing event photographer at the weekend. It's lovely to see you, Amanda. Peggy Lee, this time has been very helpful. Sammy, thank you so much for sharing you. It's my absolute pleasure. I will always share it, whatever. I will always, whatever I have, you can have, to make sure that you live the very full life that you deserve to live. Because as a result of that, your business and the impact that your business makes is just tremendous, magnificent, in your ability to reach more people and achieve more drops. It was amazing, because Roger Hamilton from the stage today told a story about raindrops, and as I was sitting there, I was like, he gets my one drop movement. And I went up and I spoke to him about the one drop movement that I'm creating, and he loves it. And so we're going to talk about that when I'm in South Africa in February. We're launching the Brand Builders Club out in South Africa in February. So who wants to come out and play Safari and launch the Brand Builders Club to change more lives? Come and join me. Amanda, send my love to the lovely Jill. There you go. So targeting the wrong customers with the wrong thing or targeting the right customers with the wrong thing, that's a big problem for small business owners. It's very easy to make the assumption that you've got the perfect thing that's going to solve the problem. But, ultimately, you're going to know if you're solving the problem in the right way for the right people at the right time if you have zero problems with money. Like if you are abundant with money, you're abundant with flow, everything in your life is working perfectly, it's exactly as you want, then you know that you are solving problems in a big way. Your customers love you, and you are serving in the way that you are meant to serve. But ultimately, if you don't have those things, all that is telling you is you're not serving in a big enough way yet. And it's a yet. It doesn't mean that it's not a never. It just means that you're not serving the right people in the right way at the right time yet. Because if you were, it would be seamless and it would be flow. Also, it's, again, they were talking about this today, the whole money-time exchange. When you create something that can flow all the time without you having to be there, like a program, like an online course, like a membership, like a subscription, where you create it once, but then you could have millions of people going through it, and millions of people could go through it and the system isn't going to break. That's when you can serve in the way that you were born to serve, especially in this time of technology. Don't wait for everybody else to go out and do it. So many models have been proven already. You don't have to wait anymore. You can just get out there and shine. Everything in my life is working perfectly. Fabulous. All right. And when everything is seamless, when everything is in flow, when you've created that program, that might take you 10 programs before you hit on the thing that is changing lives, that is seamless. Like the Brand Builders Club has become that thing for me. I had the Brand Accelerator program. I had Master Your Message Mastermind. I got 44 different products. It took creating 44 different products before I created the one that is just totally in flow. Totally in flow. It's taking me all around the world. I get to make the impact that I love to be in the world. That impact reflects back to me because financially I am rewarded for that. And those clients are loving it so much, they're going out and telling other people for me. I do zero marketing. I don't need to because it's in flow. The business is in flow. What we're doing is in flow. Yes, we work hard. We are constantly creating. We're always innovating. We're always asking our clients, what is it that you need? And how can we change that for you? What can we create for you? And what are some of the ways that you would want us to deliver that for you? Because then there's millions of other people like that person that also need what you provide. So, like creating the right things at the right time for the right people, that's where to begin. Find the person that you think is the absolute most ideal customer for you. Take them out, buy them lunch, interview them for a magazine article, blog about them, help them, serve them, do something that supports their life in some way. And it will come back to you tenfold because the interrogation of their problems will enable you to create solutions that you'll be beginning from the right place. One of the other things that I find is a really tough challenge is investing in the right upskilling. Is knowing what training should you be investing in, what should be your next investment when you're investing in yourself. What should that be? But the thing is, if you're doing that first thing right, then the training will come to you that you need. It might not even be that you need training, maybe coaching in something specific, or even mentoring from somebody that has already achieved it. Don't guess model success. There are people out there right now that have already achieved those things that you want to achieve, and for the same audience, and in the way that is totally opposite to the way that you were thinking about doing it, yet They've already done it that way, found it was the hard way, and they can give you that expertise that will enable you to go straight to the heart of those customers without you wasting time, money, or energy. Yeah, and money out of those three things is the only thing that you can get back, right? Once energy and time is gone, you can't get that back. You can build back up again, but it's gone. It's gone in that moment. Another thing, innovating, having only your own perspective when you're in business on your own can be seriously limiting. You know, having somebody or even hundreds of people be able to give you feedback, like you might think that you have the best messaging in the world, but then, you know, my messaging is brilliant. I know that it's perfect for my ideal customer. So why don't I have a bank account that is overflowing with all of the amount of value? I'm giving value out. I'm not getting that value back. Well, that's a good time to have other people give you that feedback and that the mirror, holding the mirror up to your messaging is a very powerful way to do that. And of course, distraction is easy. Because you're not focused. So some of the things that I mentioned earlier about, you know, the yoga is good for your soul, it's good for your health. The meditation is great for your mind. But then being really still at the end of all that is just the probably the most important thing at the end of that process, is to just be really still and receive whatever download you are meant to receive. There are things that I've done where I've tried all kinds of things. One of the other things was a tip from Kezia Luckett, the movement maker of the Women of Contribution movement. Kezia suggested if ever you get stuck or you're feeling like you know you need some motivation, or like there's a problem that you just can't solve. There's something that's happening, you just can't solve it. She said, get a candle in front of you. It needs to be at eye level. Get a candle, light it, and just stare into the flame, and let the flame dance, and just empty your mind completely. And if thoughts start to come in, just say, thank you, I'll deal with that later. Thank you, I recognize you're there, I'll sort that out later. Just, you know, bounce them back. Imagine you've got like a space helmet on, and these thoughts are going dink, 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 dink. They're all kind of, you know, just dropping back off again. And have a notepad, or I wouldn't advise typing it. I think, you know, like stay with raw materials, like, you know, have a pencil, or, you know, just normal paper, or a pen, a coloured pen. It could be anything, you know, whatever's right for you. But as you start to receive, just start writing. You don't need to make sense of it. Just start writing. What are the messages that you're receiving? This doesn't, maybe you could be receiving this from spirit. It doesn't mean you're receiving it from spirit in any way. This is usually just your inner self talking to you. You have enabled the layers of all of the stuff that's, you know, weighing heavy on you, to release that, so that your best thinking, your best thoughts can bubble up because you made space for them. So it's like almost, and I'm no psychologist, you know that, but what I do think happens, here's what I think happens when you do that, is your conscious mind is focusing on the flame. And because your conscious mind is focusing on the flame, your unconscious can talk to you, because your conscious mind isn't battling with it. You know, your conscious mind isn't fighting bears because it's watching the flame. So your unconscious can start talking to you. I have received some freaking amazing messages from myself or from wherever they've come by doing that, and they're just brilliant. And I've made so many changes in my business as a result of doing the candle process. So again, these are some things that I do, and it depends on what I'm stuck on, or how I'm stuck. That there's just two more things that I'll cover. The other thing is that again, if I've got a big problem and I'm really like I'm not in the zone, like you know, I have team. So team ask questions, which is great, because it means if I answer questions, that means they'll go away and they'll do the right thing. But it's also really challenging because then I have no headspace to actually get on with the stuff that I need to do. And then I find myself working really stupid late o'clock because I've spent all day answering questions and sorting stuff out for the team that that interrupt in my night. Hi, Anne. It's so good to see you. Oh my gosh. We keep saying we're going to connect. Life just gets in the way. Let's make sure that we do. And so, you know, these things, you know, I can get to a point where I'm like, my head is full, I'm done, you could be resilient on your own for a while, I'm going out. And I'll go out for a walk, and I'll take one of the dogs with me if I just want complete, like, distraction. But if I'm really in a zone where I can't be thinking about anything or anyone else, if I've got a problem and it's really stressing me out or I've got a block on it, I won't even take the dogs with me. I'll go for a walk around the park and I will imagine that I have, there's a huge thing, isn't there, about this visualization. It's funny, I'll watch this video back and go, I'll imagine that depending on the problem, if it's a creative or an innovative block that I have, I'll probably have Steve Jobs or Sir Richard Branson, and I'll walk around the park and I probably look quite bonkers. So I try and do this in a place where no one else can see me. But I'll walk along and I'll say, Richard, I've got this problem and I just can't see a way past it. What would you do? And he'll say, well, tell me about this problem. So, okay, and so I'll explain the problem. Okay, and I will ask myself questions as Sir Richard Branson, or I'll ask myself questions as Steve Jobs, or, you know, if it's a content writing question, then I might ask Brendan Burchard or Dan Kennedy, or if it's a technical thing or it might be list building or something like, yeah, you know, I'm really struggling with this piece. Ryan, you know, I'll have Ryan Dice with me. Ryan, tell me, you know, think about who's on your power team. Who are the people that you're going to ask these questions to? And just go for a walk and ask them questions. Like every time, 100% of the time. By the time I come back from that walk, I've got my answer. It is better than anything I would have come up with on my own, which is strange because I am on my own as I'm going through that process. And I always come back with the most intelligent, amazing, innovative, creative, problem-solving solutions that are incredible. And the final one that I'm going to leave you with is one that Jane Mallion at our September event, I think she was in September in London, Jane Mallion said, if you're struggling with the how, if you're stressed because you're struggling with the how do I solve this problem? How can I make it through this? How can I achieve X? How can I turn this around? How can I? How? If you're asking yourself lots of how questions and you're not getting an answer, change those same 3 letters, just turn them around to who. If you can't work out the how, someone else has already solved that problem. Who do you need to talk to solve that problem? And so just same 3 letters, it's just a different word. Change the how to the who, and you will always get your answer, and they'll help you. So let's have a look here, just as we start to wrap up. I've learned that process as active imagination, having a conversation with your inner wisdom, but I like doing that with someone I admire. Yeah, it's just much more fun, and you look bonkers, which is more fun for everyone else. Annemiek, I walk and walk, then draw it. I give many answers from within. How awesome is that? Annemiek, I want to talk to you about delivering a sprint for the Brand Builders Club members, and you know, as a way of creative problem solving. I think that would be absolutely excellent. So let's make sure we talk about that, and we can get that sprint recorded and ready to go out next year. I'd really love that. I need to give you the dates because we're at the end of the year. As our friend Burge says, trust and allow, don't ask how, and love that change the how to who. Great, awesome. Well, everything has been said at a certain time in life, so I could take all of those best things and give them to you. Or just remind you that they're there. You know, it's like sometimes you've been the part of the process. You've heard it at exactly the same time I did, but it's just that I took it on at that time and you didn't, or you took it on at that time and I didn't. So, a reminder, we have our January events coming up, so make sure you book your place and invite one other person to come with you, somebody who is a change maker that you really admire, that you think would be brilliant as part of our Brand Builders community. And so we are going to be in Fort Lauderdale on the 6th of January. So Sunday the 6th of January. Hi, Alethea. we've got an Althea and an Alethea on today. So yes, we're in Fort Lauderdale on Sunday the 6th of January. Awesome, Annemiek. And we're partnering with WPN in January. So they have their 2-day level up event, and then we have our Brand Builders Club event on the Sunday. So come to all three. If you can come to Fort Lauderdale in Florida, come to all three of those days. It will be brilliant. It always is. It was excellent this year. I got so much out of attending Level Up. So if you're coming to the Fort Lauderdale event, make sure you come to Level Up as well. Make it a 3-day experience. What we're also doing from now on, just so you know, is the Brand Builders Club days. We try and run them on a Saturday or Sunday each time. So they're on a day that you don't have to take physically out away from work. And so what we've done is from now on, the Members Day will always be one day. We're having a social that night before, because we have lots of people that tend to travel in for the Members Day. So there's always a social from 6 till 9 p.m. every night before the Members Day event. So just book that out in your diary. Get there a bit earlier. There's extra bonus training. You get to meet the speakers, and you get to network with all these amazing entrepreneurs from the community who are part of the club and are also guests as well. So guests are also invited to that. So that's always the night before. We have our Members Day. And from now on, we are also going to run a 2-hour mastermind from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. the day after each event. We've started to put that in place because there are many things that we cover on the day when we're delivering the training, and it looks like January's event is going to be all around sales. How do you create more sales at a higher value, right? So that's what we're going to be focusing on in January. We've got some brilliant speakers. I've already secured some of our speakers to fly around with me as well. So we'll be announcing who they are when we've got the sign on the dotted line. So then we have, because there's so many things that we cover, and it's for the whole room, you might well hear a strategy. Hi Liz, hello Shazir again. You might well hear or see a strategy and think, I really want to do that, but what's the best way for me to do that in my business? So we're going to have that 2-hour mastermind from 11 till 1 the next day, following all of our Brand Builders Club members' days from now on. And that is so that our members can then say to us, right, I really loved that strategy yesterday, but how do I, as a publisher, how does that work for me when the person that shared it has online courses, right? How can I make that same thing work for me? So there's always going to be that mastermind the next day, so you can get the specific strategy that you need to be able to take it and make it really work for you. Okay, so the Fort Lauderdale event is Sunday the 6th, which means that Monday the 7th from 11 till 1 is the mastermind. In the Netherlands, we're going to be at the Carlton President Hotel in Utrecht on Saturday the 12th, which means that Friday the 11th is the social from 6 till 9. Full day of training on sales on Saturday the 12th, and then Sunday the 13th is the mastermind from 11 till 1. And then in the UK, we are at the Park Inn in Heathrow, which is on Saturday the 19th, which means that Friday the 18th is the social from 6 till 9, and Sunday the 20th is the mastermind from 11 till 1. So make sure you get that in your diary. Peggy Lee, we are designing a wall planner for you brand builders so that you can have the wall planner up in front of you. It's got all the weeks that there's going to be a sprint, so you'll know when all the online training is going to be delivered throughout the year. You'll know when all the members days are, certainly for the regions that we're in at the moment, but we are going into new regions next year. So we're launching in South Africa in February, and we've got other locations and regions that are planned in also for next year. So it is launching in other places. We are reaching more lives, and I really, really appreciate you just trusting what we're doing for you to make your experience not only better, but so that you can reach more lives than you ever reached before. And I see this as my personal mission is to make sure that your freaking genius is out there changing lives in the biggest way that it can be. The price for our events has totally changed now, by the way. So the price for you to bring a guest now, for guests to come to an event in the UK and Europe is £50 plus VAT. And overseas in America, it is $65. So it's a crazy price for you to invite a friend and get them coming along so that we can change their life, which means if we can, you know, in a day we can make a whole difference. We can make a huge amount of difference to all the lives that we touch. And there is a big focus, like I say, on sales at the January event, and Jamie Gilliland is going to be there too. So we're going to be doing some amazing stuff. Watch this space. And Alethea, I hope that I get to see you in Florida. It would be awesome, especially if you can come across the day before, because then you can take part in the like the think tanking and the extra business training session. We always do some extra training the night before, and we always do the networking and everything. It'd be great to see you and really get you focused so that you can just absolutely nail it in 2019. I will post these dates in this group and also in the Brand Builders Club group as well. We do have our dates for next year. Like I say, they're going onto a wall planner, and exciting things are to come. So if you're not booked onto one of the members days yet, if you go to www.buildyourbrandlegacy.training, which is www.buildyourbrandlegacy.training. If you're not a member of the Brand Builders Club, that's the link to go to. Maybe Peggy Lee or Lavinia, if you could type that in, buildyourbrandlegacy.training. If you go to that, then you can get your ticket for £50 or $65. If you're in the Brand Builders Club, go to brandbuilders.club into the online centre and book your date from there. You can book your place there. Deborah, hello. Well, I am sending you tons and tons and tons, and even like a universe. I'm sending you a universe worth of love and matching your intentions for your next hour, your next day, your next week, your next year, making whatever you do, wherever you are, the best, absolutely most phenomenal, magnificent, incredible result, impactful, everything that you deserve coming your way. And I will see you same time next week. Take care, and keep in touch in the Brand Builders Club group and in this group as well, where we will be doing a sprint. So next week I'll put Marie Diamond's sprint back out there for everybody to go through. When you change your environment, you can change the energy of what's happening that's coming to you personally, which will then change the results of your business. So take care, sending you loads and loads of love, and I will see you in the group. Mwah.